Tribe Talk. Today we're going to be talking about Shopify. So we had to have our Shopify expert here with us, Chris. Welcome to Tribe Talk.
How's it going, Catherine? Happy to be here.
Good, going good. Yeah, we're excited to talk about Shopify. So last year, well, going into 2019, we actually put out a blog post about Shopify apps, the 19 Shopify apps, actually a pretty long list that Chris put out for us. And so we're just going to really revamp that list, put in some new apps for 2020, as well as just talk about some of our favorites from the past years as well. So Chris, you want to give us a little spill of some of the new apps?
Yeah. So like Catherine said, we had created a list of some Shopify apps back in kind of late 2018 going into 2019. And as we were looking through this, we realized that it kind of needs some updating. There's been a lot that's happened to Shopify and the App Store itself over the course of those 2 years or year and a half or so. So when we actually update this post, it's probably going to be more than 19 Shopify apps that your store should consider for this year coming into 2020. But I'm going to walk through a couple here because we kind of have them broken down by a few different sections. The first one is sort of like table stakes, we call it. So things that we think are really important for the store. The second one is the revenue boosters. So stuff like email marketing apps or, software platforms that you can use for your store, intent pop-ups, things like that, exit intent pop-ups. And then the third section is our conversation drivers. So that's stuff like user-generated content, reviews, getting people to upload stuff to the site, whether that is reviews or whether that's your messenger, contact forms, those sorts of things. And then the last is a few different bonuses that we have as well. So we'll go through those and we'll link to the post and things like that. But I just want to go through a couple here because there are some key updates that we've seen so far. And the first one under our table stakes is what we call the Flexify app. So we've talked about this before, and it's a big one that we use for a lot of our clients, which allows you to create a product catalog within Shopify. So that basically takes the list of all your products in Shopify, creates a feed, call it an XML feed. It's just a bunch of code that has like all the information around what your products, your prices, your attributes, the product names, that kind of thing. And then we can feed that into Facebook. So it's great because there is a sales channel. There's a section in Shopify that allows you to connect direct to Facebook. But with Flexify, it allows you to own your product catalog. You have much more capabilities and customizations with it. And so we always recommend it. It's free, but it also can be paid if you use it, if you have a certain amount of products. The big update with Flexify that we're starting to see, which is pretty exciting actually, is that they came out with this new feature called Super Feed, which allows the product feed to be listed in one big long list rather than in multiple pages that you would have to upload separately to like Facebook. And the format now is accepted across a ton of different channels. So now you can have one feed for Facebook and use that same feed list for Google Merchant Center, for Pinterest, for Snapchat, and whatever else you need a product feed for. And so that's a big change. They didn't have that super feed previously. So it's kind of simplifying the structure, allowing you to kind of use that as a way to just kind of use one app, and then you can kind of simplify it down. So that's a big one that we kind of updated there. So we always recommend Flexify. As we go through it last year, one other big thing under our revenue boosters was MailChimp. So we had recommended MailChimp, use MailChimp as your email platform to connect straight to Shopify. As many people heard who were using MailChimp, Shopify and MailChimp had kind of butting heads, and they're
not friends anymore. They broke up.
Yeah, no, they're no longer friends, and so there's no integration directly from MailChimp to Shopify. And so a big change there is that you now need to use an app that I think was created by MailChimp, but maybe a different third-party software that connects them. It's called ShopSync, so we have that listed here in the post as well. That allows you to connect MailChimp to Shopify through a third party called ShopSync. And so that's a big change here. So we still recommend MailChimp in certain cases, but it's not as easy to make those direct integrations. So we're finding that Klaviyo, the other email platform that we use a lot, is just a more robust platform. The pricing is different, obviously, but there's tons of different ones that you can take a look at and use in there. That's a key one there. And then the third big change that we saw from last year to this year is under our sort of bonus app sections, we had a landing page builder software called Shogun that was listed in there. So that lets you make custom landing pages, kind of a drag and drop, like WYSIWYG. What you get is what you see when you put in this text box. It kind of shows up this text box, that kind of thing. And that was our recommendation from 2018 to 2019. And we actually changed up the structure here because there are a lot of really good Shopify landing page builder apps. So we decided that it would be best to make its own section here, because as we were looking through this, it used to be that we felt like there was maybe one that was better than the others. But now Zipify is out there, Pagefly is out there, Shogun is out there, and they all have their little kind of benefits and pros and cons. But generally speaking, they all are kind of, they have a baseline of how good they are, and they all meet that baseline. And so it's really kind of what you feel like is best for you, and what you want to kind of look at in there. So we can show some different examples from using kind of a page builder, but we found some really good success and always recommend to Shopify clients to take a look at those if you're trying to build specific offers for kind of maybe specific micro funnels to send traffic to and offer something, for one campaign that traffic is coming to. So that's a big one. So we've seen big changes with those kind of landing page builders that they've all leveled up and they're all doing the great things. So there's not a huge difference in a lot of them nowadays. So we've kind of updated the section with that.
That's awesome. So those are some changes. What are your absolute favorites, like must-haves?
Yeah. Well, Flexify, product feed, that type of stuff, those are all must-haves, but those are not necessarily big like revenue boost changers, I would say. Those are more just like kind of setting your foundation and what your baseline is. We found that a lot. This is not a must-have, but I will speak about this. We found that a lot of clients are having good success with subscriptions and recurring orders. So that's become very popular with Bold apps. I'm sure many listeners who use Shopify have heard of Bold apps. They come out with a lot of different apps. So that's a big one that we've seen that I think is working really well. Along with some sort of must-have would be, an exit intent pop-up app. So whether that's Privy, whether that's exit offers, whether that's Wheelio, they all have their pros and cons. Some look a little bit more corny than others, I guess you could say, like the Wheelio where you have the spinning wheel and you can win a different discount, but they work. And there's for the amount of impact kind of effort that you need to put in to get that sort of, increase in revenue just from offering those sorts of discounts, would definitely recommend making sure you have some sort of exit intent offer pop up going from your store.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Chris. That's awesome. And for everyone watching, we have a full list on our blog. So go ahead and read all of that, because there's going to be a lot of things in there that we didn't get to discuss today. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you, Chris.